So in class we talked about what is the square root of a negative number, and we talked about why we're sort of stuck when we want to evaluate the square root of a negative number. So for instance, if I want to take the square root of 9, well hey, I know it's just 3, because 3 times 3 equals 9. But what if I want to take the square root of negative 9? If I want to take the square root of negative 9, there is no such number that if I multiplied it by itself would give you negative 9. Okay? Now using this rule, we know that the square root of a times b, we know that it equals the square root of a times the square root of b. So we can separate the square root of negative 9 into two parts. We'll separate it into the square root of negative 1 and the square root of 9. So if we can define a quantity such that let's just act like we can define the square root of negative 1. In fact, we can. There are manifestations of the square root of negative 1 in electrical phenomena, quantum mechanics. So this is not really imaginary. It's part of the number system. We'll use this letter I to denote that. So now we know that the square root of negative 9, it's the letter I times 3.